Ladies and gentlemen, Binnall of America!
And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host, Tim Binnall.
No commercials, no subscriptions, no network, no rules, and at the end of the day, my friends, no comparison. Welcome to another edition of BOA The Revival. I can already tell we're going to have a lot of fun tonight because our guest, Courtney Eastman, and I have been laughing before we even got on the air. She is a paranormal investigator, haunted travel blogger, your new best ghoul friend. She's the creator and voice behind the uber popular brand, I guess you could say, because it's all over the place. I was like, well, where do I send people? I'm like, well, she's everywhere. It's the Ghoul Guide. The Ghoul Guide is her vehicle, and it's awesome, and it's really tremendous. And we'll get into it in a moment. But I discovered her through Chef Boyardee of all places and things. So, and I'm like, what is this? So then I'm looking into this more, and I'm like, the Ghoul Guide, this thing's amazing. And I'm getting deeper and deeper, and then I'm like, I got to get Courtney Eastman on the show. So with all that said, welcome to the program, Courtney. Thank you so much for coming on. Binnall of America. It's going to be fun.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
My pleasure. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So we always start out, first-time guest, the bio, the background. I know a little bit about you because I've been digging into your stuff, but, enlighten the BOA listeners. Who is Courtney Eastman? How'd you get mixed up in all this?
So, my name is Courtney. I'm your new best ghoul friend from Buffalo, New York. Pretty much all of my life, I have had this, weird constant pull to the paranormal. I have been into it since I was a kid. I grew up around cemeteries and being that weird girl at sleepovers, hey, do you want to play Bloody Mary in the mirror? So that was kind of my background. And then around the early 2000s when the ghost shows started coming out, that's all I loved watching. And I remember running upstairs to my mom going oh my God, you need to check out this show. And then it just kind of became this hyperfixation. But back at the time, it was kind of taboo. So I never really spoke about it. We could never really go out and investigate anywhere. Any of my friends who were into this stuff never really wanted to ghost hunt. So it kind of just became something I could do when I could convince the right people to come hang out with me.
Right.
But it was always just something in the back of my mind. And when quarantine happened, I was kind of just forced to deal with everything around us. And like many people, I got back into spiritualism and sorry. And I ended up driving to cemeteries and just driving around to all the abandoned places in Buffalo, or just going out to Rochester and Syracuse and just trying to get out of the house and do something. And then around the summer of 2020, I had this nagging idea in my head to kind of see who was out there that wanted to do this. I kind of just realized that, this is something I love. I don't want to just hide it away anymore. So I started the Ghoul Guide on October 1st. I gave myself that deadline of that year. And if I didn't post by then I wasn't going to do it. So luckily I posted, and kind of the rest has just become history for me.
Yeah. It's amazing. I was as I was digging into it, I'm like, oh my God, this is deep. She's been doing this for a while now. So there's 5 years worth of stuff there. How many ballpark? I know it's hard to keep track. How many spots do you think you've gone to, at this point?
Oh, it's funny because me and my friend, we call him Better Steve. We were actually he was making this map of all the places that he's gone to, and how many places that how many times he visited. So I would say ballpark within the last 5 years, I've probably gone to, cemeteries included, probably over 50 locations.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Jeez. Yeah, well, it's cool. You find some really weird cemetery gravestones. Well, the one I want to ask you about, actually, we'll jump right to it, is the dollhouse graves. Because I was looking through your thing, and I'm like, first I saw the one, And then I'm like, then I found out there was two because in your post, you said something like one of Indiana's like creepiest dollhouse graves or something. And I'm like, one of what? And then I'm digging further, and then I'm like, oh shit, there's at least two dollhouse graves. So tell me about these things.
So I actually only knew about one. My friend Becky, who's actually been on the show before, she posted about Lova Klein, and Lova Klein is over in Rushville, Indiana, and basically her lore is that her father, she got really sick. Her father created this dollhouse for her, and when she passed, he put it on her grave, and, after some time, he didn't even want it to be a part of anything, and the cemetery caretaker convinced him to keep it, and that, they would take care of it, and throughout the years, a lot of people have pitched in to take care of it, and if you go there, her entire story is on, a good, billboard, right next to it. It's just a whole storyboard that, tells you everything in detail, and you can actually look inside this dollhouse, and, it's decorated to the T. Sometimes a lot of people say that, they go there and they can see the things move inside. So a lot of people think that, Lova is kind of, hanging out, still there, wanting to play. Other people say, other people throughout the years have, taken care of it. They repainted it. They have, restored the inside of it. So it's kind of, as much as it's kind of a tourist attraction, everyone there has been respectful of it in the most part. There have been some vandalism throughout the year, but for the most part, within modern times now, the vandalism really isn't heard of there.
Yeah.
And then so I knew about that one, and I started researching, and through my research in Atlas Obscura and other stuff, I came to realize that there was actually another one about a half hour, 45 minutes away. And that one is the grave of Vivian. And little Vivian, she ended up really sick once again. And her dollhouse was actually supposed to be a Christmas gift. But sadly, she didn't make it to Christmas. And her father ended up placing it on her grave so that she could still play with it even in the afterlife. And her parents are actually interred next to her, and that also has become a piece of the community history. What I really loved going, actually posting these videos and seeing everything that a lot of, the townspeople had to say about it. A lot of people had memories of their grandma visiting, or taking them to the cemetery and visiting and, telling them the story. And, throughout the years, a lot of people have seen the same thing where, they've restored it and they've made sure that, nothing was going to actually happen to these gravestones. So they're just this weird, unique little piece of Indiana history. And me and Becky were actually kind of thinking back on it, because both of the houses are very, very similar. So, and both of the stories are very, very similar. So they're both real girls. They both tragically passed away, but the whole story of behind the dollhouse actually being what it was there for is kind of up in the air, because they are similar styles. So there could be a chance that there was a dollhouse manufacturer that these graves in a sense, and they just became what they are now. But yeah, and fun fact, People Magazine was actually they actually reached out to me about that story first, and then Chef Boyardee came down the line.
Well, yeah, Chef.
So that's going to be out at some point. I just don't know when.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Now I want to unpack this, because you so do we know which one came first, and how far apart is the years? Are the years?
So, I want to say Vivian came first. She was in 1888, and then Lova was in 1901, I believe. So
okay,
they're
about 20.
Yeah, they're a couple years apart. A good handful. I could be wrong on the dates. I'm just kind of guessing. For what I can remember. Yeah. I want to say Lova was around 9. They were both around 9, 6, between 7 and 9 years old. But yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. You wonder if the second guy, I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of people, when Becky, when I posted it, Becky was like, I don't want to, blow up your spot, but, their stories are very similar. I was like, listen, I don't know what's going on. But,
you're not.
Vivian came first. I don't know what to tell you.
You're not responsible for the doll.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm just.
Crazy. Are there any, is this are there any other dollhouse graves like in America?
Yeah,
You know of?
there's one in Alabama that's actually like a brick house. That one is kind of like really well known because like the I forget her name, but like everyone kept mentioning that one, and a few people said that there are a few like the Lova, and Vivian ones like down towards Tennessee. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if there actually are there because I'm gonna be down there in a couple weeks. So hopefully I can find some because it'll be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be interested. Yeah. This could be a whole phenomenon that we
Could
don't
be a
even
whole thing.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they're creepy though.
Yeah, it's a little spooky to like look into because it's just kind of weird to see how like it was all decorated and just how it's all like aged over the years. So I'd be interested to go back in my travels and see if anything like moved from where it was
Yeah.
last in November. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. It's wild. I want to check those out. But the fact that they're so relatively, in the same state, around the same time, it makes me wonder what really was going on there with these houses. So you went to the Chef Boyardee grave. I'm a huge Chef Boyardee fan. To this day, I don't. No shame. I fucking eat it. I love it. I love Chef Boyardee.
I actually grabbed a can the other day because I was like, someone has to go and tell him we were in People. So like I ripped off the label so I can bring it to him whenever I get a chance to like go past his grave again.
Should have just asked me. I got a shitload of labels. I'll fucking rip them. You gotta let me know. You want the spaghetti meatballs? You want the beefaroni?
I grabbed the beefaroni because I was a beefaroni girl at heart.
There you go. I have to tell this crazy story because people a lot of people are grossed out. So I guess this would be a good Chef Boyardee story. I love Chef Boyardee. So I went to WrestleMania one year, and there was like fucking WrestleMania pre-show thing that we went to because we were idiots, and like it was like a stage show and shit. It was ridiculous. And it was sponsored by Chef Boyardee, of course. So it's like already it's just a shit show. And they had huge like catering vats of all the different Chef Boyardees. And we're like fucking ladling it. And it was just like, this is like, it was like catered by Chef Boyardee and legit. I was like, this is insane.
That's hysterical.
So what prompted you to go to, how do you get around all these places? You just drive your car?
Yeah, it's me and my little Malibu against the world.
Road trips. I love it.
It, I never thought when I bought this car that it would last me this long, and knock on wood, I love this thing through and through, so I am seeing it until the day it dies.
Nice.
But within the last, 5 years, we've definitely put on at least, almost 100,000 miles.
Jesus. Yeah, you're all over the place. I'm amazed by all the
I feel like I'm
cover.
averaging, 35,000 a year. And that's just within the East Coast and Midwest area.
Yeah, because you've done you obviously around the Buffalo area, then a lot of Indiana and Ohio, and kind of Kentucky. It looked like a little West Virginia, some Vermont. That's kind of
It's kind of like this weird little oval, I guess you can say. But I've gone down south as far as West Virginia, but personally Florida and South Carolina and stuff. I just haven't reported on anything because I can't find any photos from back in the day. And then I'll be going over to California this year, so that'll be fun. I'll finally get to cross that state off. And I recently drove my sister back from Vegas all the way when I was moving her before the dollhouse graves. So I was in the car researching about the dollhouse graves while we were driving home to Buffalo from Vegas. And then as soon as I got home, I had a day, and then I immediately put myself back in the car to drive halfway across the country again.
Oh, God. Well, that's what I was thinking when you said you drove back from Vegas. So I'm like, you kind of have the same curious mind that I do. So it's like, you probably, was the trip double the length because you had to stop everywhere to see the world's largest, acts?
See, I wish. We were on a very tight schedule, and we had my sister's dog with her, so we couldn't really do much. So I was kind of kicking her for that, but we were definitely gonna. It's fine. We did not need to go to any haunted
family
places.
time. That's what it's all about.
It was 2 girls and a dog against the world. At that point.
Exactly. Yeah,
trying to get home.
What are you doing in California?
I'm actually going to be investigating the Winchester house.
Oh, I see. I have I'm drinking of the Winchester because I saw it on your thing.
Yeah. So I help my friends out. There are two guys in a paranormal group called Haunted Nights. They have a YouTube channel, but basically they started out doing events. So that's how I got to meet them. And so we put on these events. I go to help them. We put on these events at all these locations that you guys see on my page. And we give you an 8-hour free roam. So you guys can come hang out with us, or you can just go off and do whatever you want for 8 hours. We bring all the equipment. We're there to ask any or answer any questions. We're there to investigate with you, pick your mind for theories and all that fun stuff. And recently, I was just in Indiana this past weekend for these events, and they're some of the funnest. They kind of like bring in a bunch of like different mix of people, and it's just like a fun public hunt, but it's like not too public-y, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
Like where some public hunts, I know like there are some event companies out there that will sell you, like a Wilson Castle event where that place really isn't that big, but they'll sell 100 tickets. So, like, you can't do anything. This, we give you, like, 20, 30 tickets, and you guys just have the entire place to yourself for the night.
And this is the Winchester House?
So for the Winchester House, we'll be doing, like, guided tours because it's, like, a really
I was going to say, I can't believe they let anyone roam around there.
We're actually going to be filming beforehand, so they're just going to, like, let us loose in there, I guess. I have no idea where I'm going, so, like,
You've never been to the Winchester House yet?
No.
I just went last year, so it's not like I'm some, seasoned Winchester guy.
I know.
But I will say, look out for the gift shop. It is like a Buc-ee's, dude. I don't know if you've been to a Buc-ee's, but it is like a Buc-ee's.
I got traumatized at Buc-ee's.
You'll make me traumatized by the Winchester House gift shop.
That's fine.
It's like a Buc-ee's, dude. It's crazy. I
feel like I'm gonna bring like a whole extra suitcase just for things to bring back home.
Yeah.
I know a coffee mug is in my future because I tell everyone to bring me coffee mugs from wherever they are. So
that's what I do. Yeah.
I use them. I just like use mine for like soup bowls and stuff. It's great. I will always use multi-use for them.
Can't go wrong with a coffee mug.
Pry a coffee mug out of my cold dead hands.
There you go. So you went to the Chef Boyardee grave. We got sidetracked by my youthful misadventures.
Okay.
So what inspired you to go there in general, and just sort of like, is there anything particularly Boyardean about the grave?
So, I think I just like realized that he was actually in Ohio, and one of those like how it was made, or like the Made in America shows came on. Yeah. So that came on, and that kind of like prompted me because I was like, oh, isn't his grave like in Ohio or something? And so I did some research on it, and I realized that I have actually passed through that area multiple times. So when I was out for an investigation weekend around like St. Patrick's Day, I was like, you know what? Might as well just wake up early after the ghost hunt and take my sweet ass time coming home. So I figured out like a little game route to do, and his was like one of my last ones, and it took me forever to find it because I couldn't find the mausoleum. But I really just kind of wanted to go to like say hi. Like it wasn't really anything to like, oh, I'm gonna go to make content. It was just something that kind of like came out of it.
Right.
Because like, I did want to take videos and pictures to say that I was at his grave. But the more I learned about him, the more I wanted to share his story because I just think he's kind of a cool guy.
Yeah,
everyone loved him. Everyone had great things to say about him. He loved his community. And then when he made the Chef Boyardee, brand, he was really, he thought about his name and, he changed it so everyone could pronounce it. And then when he was part of the World War II rations, he saved his entire company, like basically his entire workforce by, selling his company after the war so that all of his employees could still have a job. And he just went on his merry little way back to Cleveland and back to his little area and did his own, like restaurants, and everyone raved about him. And I just think he was a really cool dude. And plus we grew up with him. So like, knock off or not, like we grew up with Chef Boyardee. So like, I just thought for myself, this would be like a fun little thing to be like, hi, I just stopping to say hello. What I loved about his grave is the little offerings that were left by people.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah.
Yeah, someone left a label there. And when I was there, someone made like a little beefaroni can ornament and like hung it from one of the flowers. It was the cutest thing. So yeah, it's just really cool to like see him. And we don't really know each other, but we kind of know each other because we grew up with each other in a sense. So I just wanted to say hello, pay my respects, and one thing kind of led to another.
There you go, Chef Boyardee, and then that wound up in People magazine. So
yeah. Wild. It's
cool.
A thing I never thought would happen, let alone the fact that it was Chef Boyardee. Like, the fact that story got in People magazine and that's what I'm in People magazine for just tickles me.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Now, you were involved in some kind of campaign with North Carolina, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you went to some of the spots down there, and one of the ones, I got a couple in my notes here. Hopefully they haven't been. Hopefully you seem like someone. If I just throw it at you, you'll be like, "Oh yeah, I know exactly."
Yeah, let's go.
So this was the Cora tree, the legend of the Cora tree. This is a crazy ass tree and a super old story too.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, oh wow, this is a wild tale. So can you tell us about this?
Yeah, so I got sent on a road trip with Visit North Carolina to promote their like spooky tourism, which was I was mind blown by itself for that. But when I went down there, they kind of gave me like a rough draft of everything, of like the spots they wanted me to hit, and then I just kind of took that idea and ran with it. Yeah. And I was like, if I'm going to be down here, I'm getting all of my time worth, because I never know when I'm going to go back to these places. So if I'm going to be down there, might as well make the most of it.
Right.
So I went to the Cora tree. The Cora tree is a deep-rooted legend that all of the locals were telling me about. The first thing I ever brought up was like, hey, do you know anything about like haunted Hatteras or anything like that? And the Cora tree was always the first thing that popped up. So the Cora tree is a legend based on, it's a legend that comes from the area of Hatteras. And basically it boils down to the fact that there was a woman who kind of set up her roots in the area. She didn't really talk to anyone. She was just there with her little boy. She really kept to herself, and it kind of freaked everyone out. One day, a captain washed ashore with his broken boat, and he claimed that he was a witch hunter from Salem. And after that happened, everyone was kind of telling him everything that has happened since Cora arrived, which was, like someone passed away, someone lost their fortune, all the fishermen, they couldn't get fish, but yet Cora was. So it was kind of just like one of the like Salem witch trial things going at it. So he looked at it and was like, well, I'm taking all of my knowledge that I know from Salem witch trials, and she's a witch. And basically one night they decided to burn her. They tried burning her at the stake, and they tied her to what is now known as the Cora tree. But one night there was a lightning bolt out of nowhere. It struck the tree. Cora was missing, and the only thing that was left was her name carved into the tree, which you can still see today. The video, in the video that I posted, I didn't really get a good video of it, but a lot of people still say it's there. And it's just kind of this big old oak tree that just sits in the middle of
it's huge.
of a street, and it's just protected by everyone. There's signs saying, please don't touch it, just look with your eyes, just admire it from afar type of thing. But that it's a little spooky area, and it was really fun to see like that type of lore, especially with how old it is. It was just a really cool experience.
Yeah, it's a mangly looking tree. It's a creepy tree.
Yeah, it's
there's like a big kind of hole like on the side of it or something. It's really something, and it's cool like that. And the dollhouse graves. I like how they're very sort of like. I'm sure you kind of stumbled across this. I cover with Coast to Coast, friendly with the folks at the Pomeroy Foundation, and when they're always putting up these plaques at these places like these ones that you're visiting. But it's really nice to see these small towns that they have their own little small, like sort of weird legend or whatever. And they, and to a lot of people, it's like, unless they are kind of checked into what you're doing or listening to this show, they don't even know about these little small things that exist, like the doll houses and the choratry.
Yeah, and that's like for like the last 5 years, I feel like while I've been like looking for things that I find interesting and that what I would like to, like have people like also find interesting, it's just been really, really fun to kind of dive into like the weird small town lore, that's just whispered between people that like not a lot of people know. Like the moving witch grave in Ohio and like Kirtland Hills, like that's just on the side of a road. Is it real? Probably not. But it's just like this weird lore that like has just been gathered within the community that like never really like seems to leave. And if it does, it gets astray some way. But like I don't know. I just think the fun like little stories are what's really, I don't know, fun to like really bring out and like let everyone know about.
Well, what now? You've piqued my interest. What's the moving grave?
So the moving grave is a moving witch grave, and they say that if you stand to it, spin around, when you face it again, it'll move closer to you. Optical illusion, most likely. Was it probably formed by a bunch of drunk people? Probably. But basically, like they are saying that there is a there's a witch that is buried there. They had ties to Mormonism. But, like that didn't work out and I don't know. It's just this weird little story, but basically they're saying that if you go to this witch grave on the side of a road next to like a farm in the middle of Kirtland Hills, Ohio, which is probably about like 20 minutes from Chef Boyardee's grave, you can spin around, and when you turn back around to face it, it'll look like the stone has moved closer to you.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird.
Did you try it when you went to it?
I did. It didn't work.
Gotcha. You got to. Wow.
I know. So I was just there, like spinning around in the whatchamacallit, in the middle of the street. Just like everything's fine. It's great. It's cool.
Yeah. Those little spots. You mentioned Alice Obscure earlier. I got to put them over. I have visited the world's largest axe, and that was thanks to Alice Obscura, because I was traveling through Canada, and I'm like, what the hell is up here that's weird? And I'm like, oh, wow.
Yeah, I live by that site. It's one of the it's one of the best sites, in my opinion, just because you get a lot of community, and then they also, like, fact check it, too. So, like, I want to say, like, some stories out there, they'll, like, have a note where it's like, this story really isn't, like, we need more information. So if you have more information, you can totally, like, add to it. So I think that's fun, too.
Yeah. It's it's a great site. I use it all the time. The Great Dismal Swamp and the Traveling Cemetery. So this is like another kind of moving. This one's creepy. This is like weird, like, I don't know, pirate-y vibes almost.
Yeah. Honestly, anything in North Carolina gave me the pirate vibe. But the Dismal Swamp is it's kind of like as eerie as it is, it's kind of a magical place. Someone in my comments decided to let me know that, a lot of slaves and a lot of enslaved people, while they were trying to move up north, they would go through the swamp and stuff. So it kind of like became this like magical land in a sense. When you're on the ground, you can kind of feel that it's like different from, like any other place. It's definitely eerie with the way that the swamp is. But yeah, the moving cemetery, the lore behind that is if, you're in the swamp a little too long and you've taken a wrong turn. If you are in danger, it's said that a cemetery will appear to you.
Interesting.
And that is kind of a warning sign to turn back around and start heading back where you're going or where you're coming from. Also, they say that if you try to look for it, you will definitely not be able to find it.
Isn't that always the way?
Right?
It sounds like fairy lore a little bit. That's interesting.
A little
Josh
bit, yeah.
Cutchin would love that.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they're out there. I feel like something has to be in that swamp.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I can imagine. So, yeah, I'm just amazed by all the places you've got. It really kind of struck me as I was reading your thing, because we've kind of just done, really, so far, we've really just focused on graves and grave sites, but there's like no shortage of abandoned abandoned, creepy buildings out there. I was like, because I knew of some of them, but then you were like, you go to a lot of ones that are just like, I'd never even heard of this creepy abandoned. It's always like something really horrifying sounding, like sanatorium or like, you know, home for troubled youth and shit. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ. And they're abandoned out there. I'm really surprised how many there are.
Honestly, I will say New York State is awful with abandoned buildings. Like, Buffalo has a whole bunch. The state of New York has a whole bunch. And it sucks because a lot of people, like, want a hand in owning them, especially a lot of ghost people. We have a friend that was trying to buy a prison out in, like, the Adirondacks area to try to rescue it. And, like, we were telling them, like, you give us the keys, we can open today. Like, you don't need a lot to bring money in here. Like, a lot of people underestimate the ghost community and how much they're willing to pay. And that's not to say that, like, you know, like, you should scam anyone, but, like, we have really helped locations just by booking them and going for tours. Like, Wilson Castle, prime example, because they were featured on Sam and Colby, that brought so much money to them, and they were able to restore their entire roof. Like, I don't remember out of the 5 years that I've been going there where I have not seen a single bucket up on the top shelf or up on the top floor. But just recently they were able to get rid of all the buckets because of all the money from, you know, the paranormal tours and the paranormal booking.
Yeah, it's exploded in recent years. It's really blown up.
I mean,
who's the Sam and Colby? These are are those the tweens? The YouTube
they're little
tweens?
YouTubers.
Yeah, I've heard of
them. They're YouTubers.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. You know,
I don't get it.
I don't think I will, but they're great dudes. From what I hear, and I mean, you know, whether or not you like the way they investigate, you have to admit that they are helping a lot of locations by, you know, just highlighting them in their videos because their fandom flocks to them. And, you know, with that comes a lot of revenue for these places to stay open.
It's good publicity for these places.
Like, not only for ghosts, but, like, even just history in general. Because we're losing a lot of places to nature and just to time, really. One of my favorite locations is actually on its way out, and it sucks to say because it's become like a paranormal playground for us within the last like 5 years. Yeah. But like within over the 5 years, like just seeing like the destruction of it because there's nothing we can do for it, just kind of breaks your heart.
I saw someone post this. I could have sworn I saw like 2 people post this, that some of these places now are kind of turning away from the paranormal a little bit. That they're kind of not. They're kind of. Well, just what I said. They're like, we're all set with doing that now.
Yeah, I feel like some people, I don't know what places are. I've definitely seen that in passing recently, like with the nonchalant like Facebook posts. But it's kind of sad because, I mean, I get it. I see both sides to it because, like, yeah, you don't really want your business to just solely rely on paranormal and to be like nothing but like ghost stories and stuff, but like at the same time, if it's haunted, you can't deny that. But so to each their own, really. I mean,
I just wonder why.
I can't do anything about it, but I don't know why. It's just interesting how they flip flop, but it is what it is.
Sam and Colby. Didn't they have a movie?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think recently, I don't know.
I'm sure they're fine.
I'm so far away from the YouTube game, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a whole nother world. It's crazy over there. So I was looking at some of the other stuff. So I can't cite the specific place. I think it's in Palmyra, and it was the Fox sisters and the house, and they have the foundation still. Yeah. Like in you know, they've preserved that.
Yeah, so not recently, maybe like 92, maybe. I want to say like I was young when it happened. They took the original Fox Sisters house, which was in Hydesville, New York. It's about 45 minutes outside of Rochester, 10 minutes away from Palmyra. And they took it and actually took the entire house back down to Lilydale, which is in Canandaigua, New York. And Lilydale is basically like a whole psychic community, which is kind of really cool down there. So they brought the Fox sisters' house down there, but sadly it burned while it was down in Lilydale. So there's a few things that are like left in like, like hiding and storage and stuff to protect it. But the entire house is gone. So the only thing we truly have left of the original Fox sisters' house is the foundation that is standing in Palmyra, which you can actually visit today. It's literally just stone foundation.
That's cool.
It's super cool. It wasn't this year, it was last year. So December 23, I actually had a chance to go inside and actually see the foundation for the first time. I've been like dying to get inside. And we actually couldn't get in at first. Like we had to knock on the door. And as soon as we knocked on the door and tried to unlock the door again, it finally opened on us, which was super weird. And then later on, the owner of Palmyra, the Palmyra Historical Museums, they're also great haunted locations. She is actually the caretaker of the Fox Sisters Foundation. And she was telling us the backstory about the Fox sisters and, everything that happened, when they were, quote unquote, pranking their mother and saying that they were communicating with someone named Mr. Padfoot, which was the peddler that was dead in the basement and buried. And as she was telling us the story, the lights turned off. And it was one of those like really heavy light switches that you can hear click as it happened. Yeah. So like we all turned to it and no one was around it. I want to say John Tenney because it was one of like the Strange Escapes.
Oh nights. Jesus! What the hell is Tenney doing there?
Right?
Oh no! Tenney just popped up. All right, now
it was one of the Strange Escapes nights. So he actually went over and like turned it on. He was like, "That's weird," and we're all just like, "What just happened?" But yeah, like it's just really cool to be inside and like to be inside of like a piece of paranormal history and spiritualism history. Because whether or not you believe in what the Fox sisters did, you have to kind of give them credit for, kind of just making all of this happen in a sense. Yeah, just like it sucks that they kind of came out as frauds and, they try to like take it back after a minute. And like we'll never really know the true story behind them. But like they kind of set the tale for everything that came from it. And it's just kind of cool to, like, have that piece of history be, like, 45 minutes away from me.
Yeah, it's cool. Well, there's so much stuff for everybody, really, within driving distance. Jason Offutt wrote a great book about, like, something like an hour away from your house or something like that. There's all kinds of, within 100 miles, something like that. Sorry, Jason. I don't have the book in front of me. But, hey, in your backyard or something, I don't fucking know.
Close enough.
But yeah, there's always like something, there's all kinds of cool stuff around us all the time. Now, beyond, you're hitting one of your bucket list places in Winchester House. What are some of the places you'd like to go eventually?
The last one on my top 3 is Pennhurst. So I have to go to Pennhurst, either for like a tour or an investigation.
Where is that?
That's in Spring Hill, Pennsylvania. So it's kind of over by Philadelphia. Right. Pennhurst was kind of like a state school for kids with special needs where they just kind of locked them away. And that was actually the case that Geraldo Rivera, yes, I said it right. Wow. Normally, I never say his name right. He did an expose on it all. And it kind of helped bring down it was the start to bringing down institutions of that kind. So with that, you also had Willowbrook, which was another mental institution. You had Letchworth Village, which is in New York. That's kind of like an open air museum that they made into like a park that you can walk. And I want to say they're trying to restore it right now. So like, my day job is actually working with the special needs field. I feel like very connected to that. So I'm very picky on how I want to go, but that's definitely my one site that I definitely want to get to. Other than that, I would love to maybe go to like Villisca. I don't know if I would like ever film there, but I'm really intrigued by the whole story of the Villisca axe murder house. Yeah.
Well, what do you think of the whole controversy? There was a lot of controversy recently swirling around it.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult situation in the in the ghosty field with the that one and the Lizzie Borden, which you've been to. You've been to Lizzie Borden, so it's I mean, look, I just don't like an idea of a big company coming in and buying up all the little
I get that.
all the landmarks,
Yeah, because there's
maybe
actually,
it's for the best. I don't know. Maybe but I don't know. I don't like it.
I don't know because they've kind of kicked out Johnny, which is when you think
that was the controversy. Yeah. They got rid of
like the face
the curator of the whole thing.
He's been the caretaker in the face of that property for years, and like whenever someone mentions Villisca, you kind of just automatically think of Johnny. So it's definitely heartbreaking to see what has happened with that. And then when you look on socials, like even today I saw, or it was either today or yesterday, something dealing with the Lizzie Borden house. Like it was like this weird meme, and I'm just like, why would you post that? Like, it's like, it's a site of tragedy. It's a site of mystery. But, and as much as it's a tourist attraction, it deserves to be treated with respect. And like there's a time and a place for jokes, but like that like meme and like everything I've seen is kind of just like, okay, like
it's
better off in someone else's hands.
Yeah, and with both of them, it's like it's not the same as ghost hunting or anything because they're emphasizing they're both like billed as like murder houses. It's very
and I feel like they're trying to like connect the two, and like there's no connection in the story. Like, stop it, just stop it.
Except for the axe part,
just leave it alone. Stop trying to connect your buildings. They don't go together.
yeah. I mean, I'd still like to check it out, but I kind of. I hear all these terrible things that are going on with it.
Yeah, so like that's one I'll just like visit in passing. Maybe I'll tour, but I'll be like, oh, okay, that's where it is. Just keep driving.
So what you said you had 3. So what, do you have a third one or?
So my top 3.
It's just always changing.
It's kind of always changing. If I'm going to be so honest. My top 3 was Waverly, Pennhurst, and Trans-Allegheny. I've been very fortunate to have investigated Waverly a handful of times now, so I finally got that crossed off. And then anytime I'm in West Virginia to break up the drive, we always do a tour at Pennhurst or at Trans-Allegheny. So that's the only time I've seen it, but I definitely want to get to Trans-Allegheny at some point. So those are my top. Those are my solid top 3.
Well, it's interesting. Like we've talked about the graves and the abandoned buildings, but you also are a paranormal investor. Like you do ghost hunting in these places. So that's an interesting aspect of it too. So you're not just a travel blogger in a sense, but you're also on occasion you're doing these paranormal investigations. But I liked when I noticed your post that you mentioned that like you're kind of old school or something because you just don't really use much equipment. You kind of just prefer to hang out there, which that would be how I would do it as well.
Yeah, my ADHD loves to forget that I have a backpack full of equipment on me, and half the time I only take out like 3 pieces of equipment. And that's fine, but yeah, I'm pretty much old school. So when I investigate. As much as I love equipment, I'm just really there to see this for myself. Like, I love telling the stories and I love sharing my experiences, but I'm also one of those people where it's like, if you don't believe, I'm not going to push it on you. Like, come ghost hunting with me. We'll see. Sometimes you'll have a dead night, sometimes you won't. But I would just rather see what happens when, you're just hanging out. You're not saying anything. Yeah. Or, you're just, a lot of the times we've come to realize that, while you're hanging out and while you're talking, not even investigating, that's when things will pop off.
Yeah.
Like this past weekend when we were at the Indiana State Sanatorium, we were all just hanging out in like the nurses' station area. And, it was finally a quiet moment. And out of nowhere, you just heard a whistle, like a 2-tone whistle. And that it got everyone's attention. So we're like, what the hell was that? And it's just like those moments. Like, how are you going to explain a whistle when no one was walking down that hallway and no one was on that section of the hospital? Right. Or, how do you expect to, or like, how do you explain that shadow figure? I just rather not deal with equipment. It's great and all if you use it. I don't doubt you, because there are times where I do use it, but I just kind of like to hang out with the lights off, with my own thoughts.
The best way to do it. Yeah. I think it happens, like, you get more likely to have something happen when you're kind of not really looking for it. So it's like, I think all the equipment and everything is really, it doesn't really appeal to me. I see why people like it and shit, because it's it's like a very like immediate kind of thing where they're like, oh shit, it's moving. It's like, I can see why, but to me, it's just like, I need more than just like numbers on the screen or whatever. I need like,
like, it's, don't get me wrong, it's spooky as shit hearing that music box, like hearing the music box go off when no one is there, or like constantly hearing it even after you reset it. You're like, okay, like what, like who was standing there, like who was making that go off? But like, it's also so fun just to kind of like let your mind wander and then come back to it because you heard footsteps walking towards you down the hallway and you can't see anything, or you hear a tap on the wall next to you. So yeah.
Well, it was funny when you said, I don't want to spoil anything that's coming up, but yeah, you meant that kind of what inspired my earlier thing about all these different buildings. You say you went to Indiana State Sanatorium, Fairfield County Infirmary, and Madison Seminary. Like all terrifying sounding institutions. So tell me about the Madison Seminary. Was this an abandoned seminary?
So it's not really abandoned. It's owned by Adam Kimmel. He also owns the Fairfield County Infirmary. Their Madison Seminary, it was called the seminary because it was a school and a lot of the boys that were graduating were going to priesthood. So kind of just like got the nickname of the seminary. But also, on the other side to that, there is what we call the Civil War side. And the Women's Relief Corps actually took ownership of it during the Civil War era. And a Civil War spy she had her final days there. She actually worked with Lincoln. And there's actually I want to say like a paperwork or a letter that Lincoln wrote to her asking for her hand and help.
I was going to say marriage.
No, asking for her hand to help out. Basically, and she's actually buried in the cemetery right next door, which is really cool. Her name is Elizabeth Stiles. She's a lovely lady. Though her room on that Civil War side is spooky as shit. I have such a problem with that room. It's unbelievable. Mainly because there's a mirror on the wall, and all the what's really weird is that all the mirrors in Madison Seminary are covered with a veil of some kind. One of the tour guides actually covered all of them because the one night she saw what looked like a black pool coming out of the mirror, and it scared her tremendously. So she was like, absolutely not. And she covered all the mirrors. So if you go there, have fun with the mirrors, take off the cover. Crazy shit happens, but just remember to put the covers back on afterwards. But after the whole like Civil War era, it was still in the hands of the Women's Relief Corps. But then later on, it turned over to the mental hygiene department of Ohio, where they kind of made it into a nursing home of a sort. But the asylum area up top, that is kind of like their hotspot. And they would, like hide people away in the rooms up there. The rooms are small. They're tiny attic rooms with like slanted walls. There's like, they're kind of like closet size, but yet they would fit like at least 10 people in them. And it was kind of like an unspoken rule that once you went up to the top floor, you were kind of never seen again. There's also rumors that there was a murder in the building and someone was buried in the floorboards in one of the back like laundry room area. They actually had cadaver dogs come in to try to like test the theory, and one of the ghost shows that were there kind of started the process of it. And they actually got hits on the cadaver dog, but they haven't been able to find anything. So they were thinking that the cadaver dog hit on the wrong spot, and it just like kind of like moved over a little bit. So they're kind of like tunneling like through whatever area that they already have dug up. Yeah, it's brutal.
Is this like Oak Island?
A little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that it's one of my favorite places. It's absolutely terrifying, especially when you're there at night. Or like it just takes on a whole different vibe at night. And there have been times where it will leave you with an experience to kind of question until next time. One of the times that this has happened was when we were getting ready to kind of like leave for, it was like the last ghost hunt of the season. We actually slept inside the building in like the lobby area. It was like a cold November night. So we were just like, we wanted to leave really, but we realized that there was a missing spirit box somewhere. So,
oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So two of the guys cleaned up the area, like cleaned up the lobby area and packed the car. Me and two other people decided we would go find it. We went on the Civil War side. Everything was fine. We couldn't find it. So we decided to go over to the Ohio Cottage side, which was like where the asylum is. And since there's 3 floors, we all decided to take a floor. And I ended up on the second one. I did a lap. I could hear my friend Deanna above me. I could hear her walking on the floorboards. Yeah. But then after a while, it stopped. So I was just taking B-roll, so I was taking my time. So I figured she went up to the asylum to go meet her husband. So when I finally went up to the 3rd floor, I called out for her. Didn't hear her at all. Yeah, so she wasn't there. So I was like, okay, that's weird. Maybe she's still up in the asylum because I could still hear people walking. I could hear doors closing up there. Like, there was so much movement up there. So I go walking around again. I get all my B-roll, and right as I'm about to go up to the asylum, I step 1 foot on the staircase, and my watch that I had on the time told me I had a text message. So I looked at it, and it was from my friend Deanna. And she goes, hey, I don't know where you are, but we're going to catch a table for breakfast. We'll see you there. And everything instantly went quiet.
Oh, weird.
I had chills run down my entire body.
Oh,
as I just stared up to the asylum, waiting for a sound, just waiting for them to come down. And after a minute, I realized that no one was up there, which is so weird because there's only one staircase to go up and down. And she was with her husband. God love him. He is a bull in a china shop. So he is so loud, I would have heard him. And then she was wearing like this pair of boots that like clicked on the floor. So I would have heard that too. But I never heard it. I never heard them go back downstairs. But so I instantly ran downstairs. It was probably the fastest I ever moved. I threw open the lobby door and their hand was on the door getting ready to go outside. And they're like, what's wrong? And I go, where the hell were you? And they were like, we've been down here for at least 5 minutes. Where were you? And I go, no, were you like up in the asylum? They're like, no, we've been down here for at least 5 minutes. And I was like, there's no fucking way. Like, there's no fucking way. So
it's wild.
Yeah, that literally left me for the entire winter just going, like, if I were to go up there, what would have been waiting for me? Because clearly something was up there. Or like, and two, like, I'm like, part of me kicks myself for not going up there, but part of me is just like, maybe you made the right move because you don't know what the hell you could have walked into. So
I had a very similar experience when I walked past. I used to be an overnight janitor, and I walked past the elevator, and like they never ever. This only happened once the whole time I was there, and the backstory is at the time I was reading the Bible because I was like, I have all this free time. I'm gonna read the fucking Bible just to say I did. It was more of like that.
Why not?
Like a spiritual journey. It was just like this is a challenge.
Let's do it.
Anyway, so I was outside having a smoke, and I was like, oh, it's weird that in the Bible all these godly things happen. Like God shows up and does shit, and like you never hear that anymore. And then when I walk back up to my station or whatever, that's when the elevator doors open. I should probably consider that a divine intervention. Yeah. But I stood there and kind of just looked down the hall at the open elevator, and then it closed, and I kind of went on my way. But like ever since, I've been like, I wonder what would have happened if I went in that fucking elevator.
Yeah. And like it's funny because like all my friends are like, I even said like when I hit 100K, I'll do like a solo investigation somewhere, and everyone picked Madison, and I've been dragging my feet because I know that the second I am in that building alone, shit is going to pop off and I am not going to know how to deal with it. Like, it is going to be one of the scariest nights I have there, and I'm just, like, not fully ready for it.
Sounds wild, yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun time. If you ever get a chance to go, I highly recommend it. It's very affordable.
So where is it?
It's in Madison, Ohio, so it's about
Okay.
like
You may have
40
said that. I apologize.
yeah, it's about like 45 minutes away from Cleveland, maybe like an hour or so, not even. It's really like a gem. It kind of just takes you by surprise, and you never really know what you're gonna get. Like, don't get me wrong, like there are nights where we have like nothing happen, per usual. But there are nights where we have, everything happen, and we're just kind of left with like, okay, like what do we do now? Like,
Weird.
so I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a fun time, and the owner, he is also an investigator, so like he's down to answer any questions. Like his girlfriend, she's a psychic, so like if you have any questions while you're there, she'll definitely answer them.
Yeah.
They're just like really great people too.
Yeah. Well, I want to plug some people, but I forget their name and their thing, so I apologize to them. But yeah, I'm planning a trip down in Kentucky, and it was like we were trying to find some places that we're considering a ghost hunt. We ended up not doing it, and we found this group, and they have like 5 or 6 places that they kind of facilitate ghost hunts.
Is it blue
at.
collar?
Yes, it's blue collar. Yes, I was just trying to get it on my phone. Yeah, the blue collar folks, blue collar paranormal. They were super cool.
Woodlawn.
Okay.
Yeah, we did Woodlawn. It wasn't haunted for us. It was definitely freezing. But it was. We made the most of it that night. So
Yeah,
Marshall is really
folks.
great. Yeah. I also did the Kirker building that he does. That one was a little freaky. Not even gonna lie. That one took me by surprise. Mainly because
Yeah,
it was, I want to say it was like a funeral home, then like turned antique shop or something like that.
Yeah, I think I saw that one. On
Yeah,
the,
it was Marshall and his daughter are really great.
Yeah, and what struck me as I was kind of learning about them, then I'm trying to learn more about this, and then I kind of like realized that there's all these different little sort of like fiefdoms in a nice way, in a good way. I don't know what else you call it, but like where people have like 5 or 6 different places kind of in the area, or one big one or whatever. But it's like it's just interesting that like there are people behind these locations who who facilitate these things.
Yeah, they're super cool too. I don't know. I personally love when locations are kind of owned by people who are, like really into the paranormal and who love this stuff, because they're going to take you seriously, and they're not just going to be there to be like, okay, like thanks for your money, thanks for supporting us, go have fun, like type of thing. But like Carlo from Beale Manor, I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's a great home. Very, very spooky. Took us by surprise when we went there, but it's a lovely place. He is a paranormal enthusiast. He truly bought this house. He tried living in it, and he realized that it was so haunted that he was like, you know what? I'm just going to open it up to all the ghost hunters. It'll be my little ghost mecca. Have fun. Let me know how it goes.
Yeah.
Call it a day.
Yeah. There's just so many of these little places out there. That's what struck me. As I was digging into these things down in Kentucky, I was like, oh, this is crazy how many of these little locations there are. It's really quite remarkable. Let me see what the hell else I was going to ask you about here. Well, you've been to Wilson. A couple of things. So what I like about your stuff, especially, is that a lot of the content is in the daytime, which is nice. And it's like I've had this conversation, speak of the devil, where you mentioned John Tenney earlier. This kind of first came up on the show when I was talking to Tenney, because I was like, well, why doesn't anyone ever do it like in the daytime? You always see these, even the ghost events where they're like, oh, we're going to explore haunted Wilson Castle or whatever. It's like, why not just do one in the daytime? It's not like the ghosts are really, I don't believe if there's spirits there that like the time of day makes much difference. It might even get better results in the in the daytime, but not enough people are doing these investigations.
Yeah, because you have to think, like, while I know people will say that time isn't real and time's just a concept, I get that. But like, let's just pretend that it is. Like, if you're going on for like residual hauntings, why wouldn't they take place during the day? Because you have to, like, especially in a hospital, people were up doing rounds 24 hours a day. Like at Madison, when we stayed over the one night, our friend, like, she ended up sleeping on the floor, and when 7 a.m. came around, she watched shadows of footsteps outside the door crack. of just like people walking by as if they were doing rounds, and she
Yeah.
heard people as if they were doing rounds. So I'm also like one of those people like, yeah, it's fun to like be scared in the dark and like it. Let's be real, like there's so much time there's so much more time in the day when you investigate at night. But during the day, you can have a lot more experiences. And during the day, like that's where some of our experiences come from. Like yeah, we have our hunts at night, but like when we're setting up or like when we're just walking around trying to get B-roll or just touring the place, we've had stuff happen. Like once again at Madison, the first time I just went for a photo tour. But when we were upstairs on the 4th floor, I was talking mad shit about the doctor that's there because he was a horrible person.
Yeah.
He took people against their will. He did things that he shouldn't have done. And I, just as the person that I am, I was just talking openly, just like, I don't understand how a person could do this. I don't understand how, someone can be so inhumane towards another person. And right as I was saying that, you just heard someone go, "Hey!"
Wow.
Like voice and all. And we like, it was just me and another girl, and we just like kind of stopped dead in her footsteps, and we looked out the window, saw that another truck was there, so we're like, oh, it must be Jeff with the other tour. And then when we walked outside, we were like, hey, were you just over by the staircase trying to see where we were? And he was like, no, we knew you were inside, so we gave you your time. I was just out here talking. So like a lot of stuff happens during the day.
Yeah, I think it's underrated.
It just sucks that you really can't like investigate that much during the day because people are on tours or so on and so forth.
Right,
but
right.
if you can, I highly suggest it because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's underrated, and I think there's less room for misinterpretation because it's like tricks of light and shadow.
Especially when you're seeing stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's because a lot of these things, you're in the dark. Really, you may have a flashlight or whatever, but that's it. But if it's like daytime, you really kind of have more of your bearings about you. So yeah.
I mean, like, you can let your eyes adjust and, like, especially, like, to ambient light. And, like, back in Indiana this weekend, we saw a lot of, like, weird shadows, like, towards the end of the hallway. And, like, you do get in your head once you start seeing stuff move. Because you're like, there's no way, like, that head and shoulder keeps popping in and out of the doorway.
Yeah.
Like, I have to be seeing things, like, that type of thing. But, like, in the day, if you see something like that, it's kind of hard to be like, well, my eyes are playing tricks on me type of thing.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So you're going out to Winchester House. So if you're like me, you're gonna stack up some other shit. So what else are you gonna be looking at when you go out to Winchester House if you have time?
So as of right now, the only time we have planned is when we touch down. We're going to Alcatraz, so that'll be my first time at that location.
All right.
I want to say that they also do like nighttime like tours and stuff, so we might hang around for that. But we have a day of filming and then 2 nights of events at Winchester, and then our Sunday's open. So I don't know about the boys, but I'm definitely gonna try to like go to a cemetery or two. I don't care if I have to Uber there.
All right. So I just did a trip to Winchester, as I saw it with the mug, the last September, so I can give you some insight. So I would say they do the Alcatraz night tour. They do it. So you definitely do that. It's much better. My only thing is actually is with the night, if you go in earlier in the day, you can hang out like as long as you want and take any boat back you want. With the night tour, you go, I mean, it's spectacular. You go, it's like the sun sets the sun's setting as you're like on the way to fucking Alcatraz. It's like awesome. So that's an experience in and of itself. But like once you get your window of time to hang around Alcatraz is way limited. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So. I think we might be going during the day, and then if anything, like kind of like lingering until then, which is fine by me because I'm just happy to be there. Honestly, I don't care. Like I told them, I was like, I don't care what we do. I don't care what happens in terms of paranormal. I'm just happy to be here.
Oh, so you're doing 2 events. Oh, so you're going to be in the Winchester House quite a bit then.
Yeah. Hopefully I should know it by the back of my hand on day 3, but I highly doubt it.
You don't get to spend the night there, though, do you?
I don't think so. I think we might be staying in the hotel across the street. So we'll be like, I'll be waking up looking at the Winchester House, which I never thought would happen, but here we are.
It's a spectacular view. The whole, just wander the grounds when you get a chance. It's fantastic.
Oh,
It's, the inside's amazing, but the grounds are like spectacular too.
Yeah. I can't wait to go like to like tour the gardens and stuff because I heard that's absolutely gorgeous.
It's fantastic.
So, yeah, like I said, I'm just happy to see it. Like it's one of those places where like I grew up learning about it and grew up learning the lore just like everyone. But it's like one of those places where like I'd like to go there someday, but like it's always been like a someday. Like I never thought that it would actually happen. So I'm not really believing that it's happened until I'm like on the plane going there.
When is this going to be?
The second week in July.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's about like a month and a half away, but with everything that's happening, because like now that Memorial Day's gone, I feel like everything flies by, especially working in a school. So it's definitely gonna be here before I know it, and I don't know what to do.
What do you mean you don't know what to do?
I just can't believe that it's happening. Really.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And what are you going to be doing? Just kind of facilitating ghost hunts?
Yeah. So I'll be helping with the ghost hunts. I'll be filming. Really, probably with my group, knowing me, we're going to be doing the Estes method because my friends love throwing me under with the headphones and the spirit box. So I'll probably be helping other people like facilitate that so that they can play along and like learn how to do it too. It's pretty cool. It's weird because I'm always the one underneath just shouting out whatever I hear. So like being on the other side asking questions, that's been a fun learning curve because like half the time I'm like, I don't know what to ask. Like like this isn't me. Normally I'm the one yelling out the answers. But yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. I think the tickets haven't gone on sale yet, so hopefully they'll go on sale. I think we're waiting for something with Winchester. But it'll be fun because you'll probably do the SS method with me, and like you guys like will do something else with the boys and like their little areas. So yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a really cool location. It's a lot of fun. If you're going to be staying in San Jose, San Jose, right? Or not San Jose. Yeah. So you should go also check out if you have time. I don't know what time your events are at Winchester House, but right nearby is the Rosicrucian Museum, and it's got all these mummies. It's got a whole. It's got a whole array of mummies and ancient stuff. It's like an amazing ancient artifacts museum.
Love that. I'll put that on my list.
Museum, and then if you have a fair amount of time, we drove an hour south down to Santa Cruz, and they have. I have really been taken in by these things. It's different than what you're into, so it's good. After looking at your stuff and talking to you, I'm like, I need to start posting pictures from these crazy places I go all the time.
Just do it
all the time, and I go to like all kinds of crazy places. So an hour south of Santa Cruz is the Mystery House, and it's like a tourist attraction. It's like almost a century old, and it's like a fake. It's like fakery. It's a hoodwink.
Yeah, is that like the witchcraft where like you balance the broom?
Yeah,
or the optical illusion. Yes,
and the house is like tilted, so everything seems like it's crooked and everything. And they have a tour guide who has a whole shtick and patois, and they have it perfectly down, and it's like they do the demonstrations and shit. It's a whole magic show. It's fantastic.
Yep, you sold me. Say less. Yep, say less. You sold me. I am definitely going to be like campaigning for this for the next month and a half. Be like,
it's
guys,
really cool.
You know where I think we should go? I think we should go play magic tricks.
Yeah, it is really cool. Okay, so that's going to be all right. That's going to be second week in July. And where can people? The Ghoul Guide is how people can find your stuff.
Yeah, you can probably find like for tickets for that. They'll be through my friends in Haunted Nights. But I'll like repost anything on like all my stories, on my Twitter, TikTok, what have you. So like you'll be able to find the information. And like honestly, Instagram is like the best way to keep up with me. I feel like I'm more active on there than any platform.
That's where you started, right?
It's my little comfort zone.
So let me see. Wilson Castle. Let's just talk a little bit about that. So you've been out to. How'd you wind up at Wilson Castle in the first place?
With my friends in Haunted Nights, they have been doing events there for like the last like 14 years because they're from the Albany area, so like it's close to them. So they've been doing events out there, and once I like kind of became friends with them and started like really hanging out and helping them, They kind of bribed me to just make the drive across the state to Vermont for the first time, and the second I stepped foot in there, I instantly fell in love.
It's an amazing place.
That porch swing definitely got me. I could I
Oh
woke
yeah,
up,
the view from the veranda or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like breathtaking.
It's
I
heaven.
could stand there all day. Yeah.
Yep. I like the first time I went out there, I want to say I walked out there probably at 7 a.m. after we woke up, and I just looked at the foggy autumn trees that were out there. I was like, this
It's amazing.
This is where I need to be. Like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, Wilson, it's been a wonderful place. I love everyone who's there. Andy and Denise are wonderful people. The castle is absolutely stunning. I cannot recommend it enough to anyone. Like I'm sure you know. But yeah, it's just been a location that's kind of like fallen into my lap a little bit, and it's just become one of my favorite over the years.
Yeah.
That I just love to like make at least one visit a year. Just to say what's up.
it's so out of the ordinary for that area and everything, and it's like hidden away and tucked away like behind all this shit, and it's kind of it's really it's like a little hidden gem. Although I'm surprised at how popular it is. The first time I saw it, I looked it up I saw it on Alice Obscura, and I was out there for the Bigfoot Festival, and I went in the daytime, and they were like, yeah, well, all right, it's late in the day, and they're like, yeah, we have to close up soon because there's a ghost hunt here tonight. And I'm like, oh, that's weird that they do ghost hunts here, Then later, as I got further and had some ghost hunting people on the show, it was like I came to realize just how prolific or whatever, how often the place is hosting these ghost hunts. And now I follow Wilson Castle on Facebook and everything, and I see the shit, and I'm like, holy, they like always have something going on there. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, it's been wild. Like over the last few years that I've been going there, it's been wild to see just how busy they've become, and it's been great because they have been able to do amazing restorations within that castle. I want to say that they just started tearing up the floorboards to Sarah's bathroom so that can be like an accessible place, and like I said earlier, they completely redid the roof. They did the whole floor, I want to say, in like the drawing room area. So like, because of the paranormal, we've been really kind of keeping this location alive, and it's been really great to see how it's grown over the years, mainly within the paranormal crowd too.
Yeah, it really is. Just in like the 4 or 5 years I've been going up there, it has definitely become a real hotspot. It's pretty. It's fun. It's pretty crazy. Now, have you? I keep mentioning the Bigfoot Festival. There's a place you should check out. Is the Skeen Manor?
Yep.
Have you heard of Skeen Manor?
I pass through all the time on my way to Wilson. I haven't had a chance to go there yet, but
I haven't either. But I've always wanted to check it out.
Yeah, I've heard great things about it. I want to say my two friends did a video there. Maybe
I think they're doing now. It seems like I think they saw what's going on with Wilson Castle, because now it seems like they're doing events too. And I don't remember them ever doing so many events. And now it's like they're kind of bundling them together. I think one of them is like a 3-thing weekend where all 3 are part of the thing.
Yeah. I think I saw that too. Honestly, I mean, good for them.
It's great.
It's been a location that like it's kind of been whispered about throughout the years. Like you said, like not a lot of people like really know about it. And if they do, like there's only like a handful of people that have actually like really gone into it. So, I don't know. I think it's great that it's coming more out of its shell and like just welcoming more of the paranormal community. Yeah.
It's I've always kind of, it looms over the festival like the whole time. It's a great atmosphere there. You should check out the festival. You'd have a good time. You'd enjoy it.
It's,
do you like food trucks? Do you like food trucks, beer, classic rock cover songs from a local band? It's fantastic.
Go. This has already sound great.
Yeah, it's a fantastic.
I actually think I wanted to go to one, but I was either
Swamp Frog. That's it. Swamp Frog's the band. Shout out to Swamp Frog.
Love it. I wanted to go the one year. I just don't think I've like ever like been in town for it or have ever been like available to actually go.
How close is it to? Go ahead.
Oh, but I was just gonna say one of these days I'm gonna make my way to it because it just sounds like so much fun.
How close is it to Buffalo?
It's about like 5 hours because it's about 6 to get from here to Wilson.
5 hours. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, to
Really?
me that's nothing. To me, it's nothing now. I
How
can
far
do a
is
four-
Okay, go ahead.
I can do a 4-hour drive in my sleep. Like, it's nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like from here to like the Saratoga County Homestead, that's about 4 hours, and that's like just right before Albany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. I went to school up at Syracuse. So is there a lot of shit up there? Because when I was in college, I didn't really care at all about any of this stuff, which I regret now because there was all, I could have checked out some really cool stuff.
There's a few stuff.
What's going on around there?
You have the Landmark Theater that's
Okay,
supposedly
yeah,
haunted
I
out
remember
there.
that. Yeah.
There's also a road called the 13 Curves, which is kind of just like one of those haunted road stories. I don't really know it offhand, but anytime you kind of mention Syracuse, I did like a series on TikTok where it was like haunted locations in Western New York, and everyone's like, "What are you gonna do like Syracuse and everything? You could go to the 13 Curves." So like that's one of the ones that's out there. Their cemetery, I want to say it's Oakdale Cemetery. That one, I don't think it's haunted, but there's a lot of cool graves in there. You have someone related to the Wizard of Oz. There's actually a piece of the yellow brick road that's by their grave.
Oh, wow.
I want to say they were the parents of the author to the book.
See, I love that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's out there. And then in another cemetery, I think it's St. Anne's, you could see the archway that from the old Onondaga Sanatorium and the steps that would lead up to what would be the sanatorium. But that's not there anymore. So the archway is just there, and like engraved in it, you can see that it says Onondaga Sanatorium.
Weird.
Yeah, that was actually next on my list. My sister just sent me that, and I was like, "It's funny you sent me that because like I was literally just looking at it the other day, so it's a sign to go out there."
Yeah, well, I find New York interesting, upstate New York. Well, people always hear New York; they don't really. New York and New York City are like completely different animals. You know what I mean? So like people I enjoy. I went to school in Syracuse, so I saw that up there in upstate New York, and also when you get up into the area like around Whitehall and that like pocket that's sort of like next to Vermont, that's like a whole different world. It's fantastic.
Oh yeah, I actually love going to Adirondacks. It's like an area that I never saw myself going to, but what's really funny is before I started, like probably a month or a couple weeks into starting the Ghoul Guide, we had like what we call a psychic party where we just invite, like we hire a psychic for a day and we just have like all my friends and family come over, and whoever wants to get a reading, they get a reading. So we did that, and when it was my turn, she kind of was just like, "You don't want to connect with anyone." I was like, "Nope, just show me what you got. I just want to see what you pick up," type of thing. And she was just like, "What is it about Lake George?" And I go, "Well, I don't know. I was actually talking to someone the other day about it. So like maybe you're just picking up on that." And she goes, "I don't know. You're going to be spending an awful lot of time over by Lake George. I just don't know what it is." And she kept saying, "You're going to have a lot of fun within these next 5 years." So after that whole reading, I was like, I don't know what the hell she was getting on, but okay. And like those two things always stuck with me. And it wasn't until almost a year later that I was driving on like, I think it was Route 9. And I was coming home from the homestead, to my hotel, and I pulled up on a Lake George sign at 3 a.m. and I was like, no shit. Like this is what she was talking about. And it was the fact that I was over in the Adirondacks almost every single week for like a month and a half, just giving tours at the homestead, hanging out with friends, going to Wilson Castle area, and just doing that. So I just thought it was fun that she kind of picked up on that. And I don't know, ever since then, I've just kind of like fallen in love with the Adirondack area. And I don't know if you're like into astrology or anything like that.
Not particularly, but
there's a thing called astrocartography, and it's basically like where your planets are just on the map and there's a bunch of lines, and like if you like move west of your Jupiter line, like you're supposed to like find wealth or anything like that. And what I find really funny is right where the Adirondacks and Wilson Castle are, it lays right between my Neptune and Uranus lines, which is all kind of like mystical and magical. And I'm just like, Very, very interesting that you picked that up. And I don't know, I just feel like everything dealing with the Adirondacks in that area kind of like all just like fell into like this weird little place.
It's a magical area.
It really is. No wonder why Bigfoot's there.
What's that?
I said, no wonder why Bigfoot's there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you got the thing in July. Is there anything else you want to plug? Because it sounds like you do events.
Yeah.
Beyond your own personal investigations.
Yeah. So if you guys want to follow Haunted Nights events, if you ever want to come to a public hunt that I'm going to be a part of, they're usually with those. I'll be posting all about that on my stories. If you're into conventions, I will be vending.
Who isn't?
I know, right? So I'll be vending at 3 different locations this year as of right now. The first one's coming up at around June 20th, June 21st. That is at the Fairfield County Infirmary. So we are going to be raising money to help with the roof at that location. So it's really cool. There's going to be a bunch of, paranormal groups there, a bunch of vendors. There's actually a raffle where you can get in and win some really cool stuff like paranormal equipment, even free public hunts with just a Chinese auction ticket. It's super cool. I tell everyone just to come for that. And if you can't make it, you can even join in on the raffle online. All their information's on their Facebook page. So with that, also in August, as of right now, at the end of August, I will be at the Indiana State Sanatorium Con. That one's actually really cool because it takes place at Billy Creek during the day. That's supposedly a haunted open-air village where they moved a bunch of, like, historical buildings that were kind of, like, rotting and, like, falling apart, but were historical to the area. They're moving that to this village. So they kind of, like, made their own little village. Super haunted. There's going to be a whole bunch of people there. And at the end of the night, there's a big ghost hunt at Indiana State, which is just right down the street. It's like a mile away. So that's super cool. And then in September, I'll be at the Madison Seminary Con, which is MadCon. We raise money for cystic fibrosis. And last year we ended up hitting the goal of $65,000 within the last couple of years. So I want to say we raised almost 11 grand last year. So 65 grand was our total. So yeah, we really want to bump up the numbers this year. So like, if you guys come, it'll be me and a whole bunch of other paranormal teams. Same thing with the raffles, vendors. It's just a fun time for you guys to like come, hang out, and just kind of like talk to them.
When is that one?
That one's in September. I want to say around like September 20th as well.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you mentioned that before.
It's a fun time. I truly love them. I've been vending them for probably about the last like 3 years. It's just a great time. You raise a lot of money. You see a lot of cool friends. You see a lot of internet friends. And it's just kind of a good time where everyone just hangs out together while we raise some money for a great cause.
It sounds cool. Now, I guess people just find Ghoul Guide. That'll be how they can find. Like I said before, I'm always on Instagram. It's my main hub. But I also do have a website. It's called theghoulguide.com. I have a store on there. I have a blog on there that I'll eventually write more on. But you can find my story about how I got into the paranormal on there. So that's super fun. And then I'm on all social medias like TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, all that fun stuff under the handle The Ghoul Guide. It's perfect. Easy to find. So
yeah.
I was going to ask you one last thing just now, but now. So you're featured in a couple of editions of Feminine Macabre.
Yep.
So what did you write about? And that leads to the obvious question of, everybody has a book in this business. So when's your book coming out?
I don't know. I have been kind of poached to write like cemetery books, but it kind of just didn't feel right to me yet. So I don't really know what I do, but I would love to actually have a book of my own. I think that'd be fun. Maybe something around like road trips or planning your own road trip type of thing. I do eventually want to kind of like make road trips for people, especially with all the places that I've gone to. I also kind of like toyed with the idea of like you giving me a few spots to do, and I'd be like, okay, sold. I'll just make you a road trip from point A to point B with all the fun stuff you guys think you should, like all the spooky stuff you guys like, type of thing. But yeah, I'm part of the very first and the third volumes of the Feminine Macabre. My first essay in the first one was about safety coffins. I learned about them when I was like in 6th grade, and I just felt right to kind of like come full circle for this moment. So that one was super cool. I really love that essay, but I would say my essay in the third volume is my top favorite. That one's really spooky. It's called He Comes at Midnight, and it's about the Midnight Man game. So it's an occult game, and I basically tell you all about it. I give you the instructions. And I let you know that if you play and something happens, you gotta let me know, because I am a little too chicken to play it. I almost did, but I couldn't. I couldn't go through with it.
Well, there you go. And as we said, it's all under the Ghoul Guide. So just punch it into the Google machine and put in Ghoul Guide, and you'll find you'll find all of Courtney's stuff. Yeah. So thank you so much for coming on the show, Courtney. I really appreciate it. I had a lot of fun chatting with you. I feel like we need to get up to some misadventures, because we're fellow travelers, literally in this crazy world. That I kind of bit my tongue talking, because I didn't want to be. What's one of my things? It's like people like place drop, where it's like, yeah, well, I've been to this thing. So I'm like, all right, don't do that, Binnall. Don't do that. But,
no, I mean, I'm always here for it. I guess we're just going to have to talk another time for it.
There you go. But I had a lot of fun, and safe travels on all your travels here throughout the spring and summer and going forward. And yeah, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you. This has been so much fun.